We're for Bellies Farm. I'm Melissa and Avery and Ivy and Laurel and Cyrus. We're in Bowden, Georgia, in western Georgia, and we produce beef, lamb, chicken, turkey, and bone broth.
Our property is about 62 acres. We moved in uh, winter of 2016. And when we moved in, there was a lot less grass than there is today. Actually, if you can see behind us, most of that was just red clay, and most of even the area just behind us was red clay. What we'll do is we'll run the cattle on this pasture, and they'll only be here probably less than a week, so maybe 5 days. So they mow it down, the cattle and the sheep together actually mow it down, spread the manure, and then they're out of there. And then we have the chickens that are in the chicken tractors, and then they'll run that. They'll get moved every day, and it takes them, was it roughly 8 weeks to move across the pasture, but we'll get about 300 pounds of nitrogen per acre from that. So lots of fertilizer gets spread via the chickens. And then during that time, the cattle may have even been in there while the chickens are there, maybe 2 or 3 times. So as they rotate around the property. One of the big parts of our farming is letting the animals be the animals. So even in the chicken tractors behind us, the walls are just chicken wire, so that's got inch circular holes that grasshoppers jump through regularly, and crickets and bugs. And the chickens get to scratch the ground and dig holes and dig dig for grubs if they want to. They get to see the sunset and sunrise. They get rained on. I mean, for the most part, we protect them from the rain as much as we can, but they still get wet. So they're still living a life, a chicken life. Uh, and I think that translates into a better tasting chicken than you can get at the grocery store.
We met and married in Georgia, and then shortly thereafter moved to Northern California and were there for 7 years. And in that period of time is when I realized that I had some gut health issues that I needed to address, and the uh, modern medical establishment was very keen on me like finding a pill that would work, and that's great. You just be on that forever. And I wanted a different solution, and so I sought out um, ways to really address why the root issue to everything. And so that's what got us going to farmers markets and eating clean. And shortly thereafter, we had our first child. And then Avery was wanting to spend more time with us at home. And he was at the point in his career where he either needed to turn towards work or let it go. And he wanted to move back to Georgia and started looking into farming and things. And so we moved back to Georgia, I think, more with the idea that I was still a stay at home mom and Avery was changing his career to farming. But when you start farming, it doesn't work that way. So it was a slippery slope, but I'm very involved
Yeah.
and have been pretty much from the beginning.
In my old job as a electrical engineer, it was quite stressful. There were deadlines that would move, weeks sooner. They'd always seem to get moved up. And so I would get pretty stressed, and I'd go to the chiropractor, and the chiropractor was always working on my right shoulder and my right arm and trying to really, basically that's where I stored my stress. And my back, the right side of my back. And I'd have to say farming, it's a different kind of back pain. It's more like a back soreness, and it's not as sharp pain, but I would say I like it a lot better than the stress of being in the tech sector out there in California.
It's hard to raise lamb in the South because of the parasite issues. And so we have developed breeding stock that grows well in our environment with our grass and weed scenario, with our parasite load, with our heat and everything. So our breeding stock is hardy and grows well, and it took us several years to develop that. So it's hard for us to grow the lamb quickly because I could sell a lot more lamb than what we produce, but we're not able to grow it that quickly because we if we brought in sheep from other farms, they wouldn't be hardy like that and they would introduce more parasites and stuff to our overall
Yeah.
ecosystem also. So we're growing the lamb slowly, but they're very clean. They're very tasty and very
Yeah.
healthy. Turkeys are new for us. We got the Georgia Accelerator grant through Georgia Organics about 2 years ago, and that helped us get a new brooder and a bunch of new chicken tractors. But with the new brooder, we were able to introduce turkey pretty easily at a decent scale right from the beginning. So last year we started with turkeys. It was our first year, but we had a consult through Georgia Organics with Jordan Green, and we had all of the infrastructure already set up. We just had to build the turkey mobiles. We had one last year, and then we expanded to two this year. And that helped us get into a new venture successfully, which was new for us because of that whole learning curve situation. So we've learned a lot, even about trying new things. So we needed to make some changes to make everything work in a sustainable way. And so we're following the Jordan Green method of getting cows and putting them on pasture the 30 days for their rumen to change, but we keep them for at least 9 months. So, everybody who's going to be any accidental calves in there or anything, we know what's going on, and their fat content can change back over to the grass fat that's the healthier to consume fat. And yeah, so far it's been really great. We've started it and we've brought in a lot of diverse cattle that are really beautiful to see. Um, it's not a monoculture by any means. It's a lot of diversity, a lot of beauty, and it helps us be able to provide new elements that we never could before. In addition to the cuts, now we can offer beef shares like whole quarters and half cows and stuff that we didn't have the capacity to before. It helps us really utilize the 62 acres that we have. You definitely learn how to be more resilient and learn how to keep going. And there are some really nice aspects to things that you wouldn't expect either, like some real connections with some customers and how much they appreciate it and feeling that appreciation from the community, as well as having people come out here and seeing what we're doing every time, seeing it through their eyes, their fresh eyes, looking at it is always helpful because when you're here every day, sometimes you don't see the beauty and you don't see the benefits of what we're really doing. And so, like having Hannah come out and be part of things now was really helpful. I mean, every employee in the beginning too, like when Colin first came and being able to see it through his eyes, and some of the young people that we had that were college students and stuff that would come, and just seeing just being reminded of all of the beauty and the aspects that sometimes you don't see when you're really stuck in the challenges of it. Our main market is the Grant Park Farmers Market in Atlanta. We also do a local market in Carrollton, the Cotton Mill Farmers Market, which is very close to us, about a half an hour. And then we sell some wholesale as well. Yes, and I also make a bone broth. I do that with only bones from animals we've made ourselves, and I get local organically raised vegetables that are in season, and do a 24-hour simmer at least. So that's been a popular item for us, and that keeps growing.
I think we'd like to find a piece of land to lease so that we could get a little more space going and we could increase the rotation. And that would allow the grass here to get a longer rest, and also whatever place we're leasing to get a longer rest and to grow our herd so that we could have more sheep and more cattle and then serve more customers. Maybe make that freezer look a little more endless.